The show is about to begin, so out of respect for your fellow patrons, we kindly ask that you please turn off your cell phones and refrain from texting. Thank you, and enjoy the show.
Okay, I'm ready.
Hey! Hi! We're doing a vlog. We're doing a documentary series about our whole process.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm Kayla, and I was one of the directors of Lunch BHAGG 3 at the University of Manitoba.
My name is Hailey, and I was one of the co-directors for the Lunch BHAGG.
I'm Keely McPeak. It is November 25th, 2020, my least favorite year of my life so far.
My name is Simran, and I'm from Hong Kong.
I'm Andre Gabriel Palaire Lacson. I've been living here for like the majority of my life. Manitoba, Winnipeg.
A lunch bag is a smaller scale production.
That lasts about an hour.
Black Hole does 3 main stages a year, so those are like the big shows. And then lunch bags, I think they do 5. They're smaller, less people, less time rehearsing.
And the reason why it's called Lunch Bag is you could see it during your lunch.
BHAGG in Lunch BHAGG is actually spelled BHAGG, which stands for Black Hole Anarchist Group, and another G because they're anarchists.
I'm not sure how Hailey and I came up with the idea to direct a lunch bag. It sort of started as a joke, and we were like, haha, that'd be really funny. We've never directed anything in our whole lives, haha. And then it became real.
The reason I wanted to direct is that it was something I'd never done before, but that part also intrigued me.
Well, it was called We're the Opponent. The Worthy Opponent. There was only 3 characters. Penelope, which is me, Ivy, and Andre. Andre is our waiter.
The reason that I wanted to be a part of this show and audition was I was actually kind of in an interview for assistant house manager for one of their productions, and the person I was with, she actually convinced me to like go and try it out. I felt so good with the results of that interview. I just felt, you know what? I literally have nothing to lose, all the more to gain, and why not?
So we had been friends for about a year at this point, and we were in our 2nd year of theater. We were in the on-stage class, and they were looking for a director for Lunch BHAGG 3. And so Hailey and I made the joke of like, haha, we should do it. And then we were like, maybe we should do it. And so Hailey messaged the Black Hole Instagram account and said, hey, Kayla and I are interested in directing. Are you guys still taking submissions? And they said, yep, as long as you get it in by this week or something like that, we'll still consider you. And so we got to work.
So, our first step was finding a play. You get a bit of a budget, but they're trying to get you to work with what you have and like local playwrights or stuff we had available at the university.
So we asked all of the profs for any play recommendations they had for lunch bags.
We actually had, I think it was all of the theater profs going through their archives of all the plays that they had.
And we did a quick skim of them and decided on a worthy opponent.
And once we had the play, we could formally apply. We got the official green light. So a worthy opponent is essentially about a mother, her son, and her son's girlfriend all going out for supper. But the son is late, so the two ladies sit down and one thing leads to another, and the waiter notices that Ivy, the girlfriend, is wearing a ring. And then that's when the tea gets spilled that she is engaged to Penelope's son. So this causes Penelope to spit out her water, and she doesn't approve, and essentially this kickstarts the entire rest of the plot.
Just a conversation essentially. It was them bickering, it was them agreeing on things, talking about life, talking about their differences.
It's basically about Penelope being very overprotective and very insecure and skeptical of marriage from things that have happened to her in her own past. She feels challenged by Ivy coming into his life and potentially taking him away from her.
And that's what really drew us to the whole show, was the fact that it was so real and so raw. And it was also funny, and we felt like it was natural humor, and that's something that we knew and understood, and something that we felt that we could translate onto stage.
One of the great things that the theater program gives you when you're a director for Lunch BHAGG is they give you kind of a productions guidelines checklist, and in here has everything you'll need and everything that has to be done in relationship to your performance dates. So 10 days before performance, this should be done. 30 days before performance, this should be done. So we were about a month till show, and we had to start designing posters for auditions.
Lunch BHAGG 3. Well, they really did good marketing.
It was through, so I was an intro at this point. So Margaret always, before any sort of show went up or say there were auditions coming up or anything, she would let us know and encourage us to go and try out.
I didn't really want to audition because I hate failing so much, and I hate being told no.
I automatically thought I hadn't done anything in Winnipeg, in Canada. This is my chance. I could just go audition and see what happens. I might not get in, I might, who knows.
I heard about it in class because I was taking on stage at the time, and I needed to fulfill my requirement to do a show, and I didn't have time to do a main stage that year because I was trying to get my recital ready for music. So I decided I should do a lunch bag, and it was a comedy, and that's all I know how to do, so I decided it would be a good one to do.
So auditions happened about a week later, and our stage manager Jennifer actually did a lot of work for us. She printed out all the sides, we already had marked them, and she's had them ready and did all the prep work for us. So all we had to do was show up and see what people had to show.
And I hope the actors couldn't tell, but we were just as nervous in that audition room as they probably were.
I wasn't really feeling too concerned about the audition, to be honest. The black hole auditions are usually pretty calm.
When I was auditioning, I was so nervous. My hands were shaking and I was sweating. I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta calm down.
I was very nervous. Like I said, I hadn't done anything before in Canada.
And it looked really daunting. It looked really official because there were people giving out scripts and giving you kind of sides to read. You knew a little bit about maybe the plot or a summary, but you don't know the whole scape of the whole play.
So it was all a new territory. I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect, so there was that uncertainty.
But I remember day one finished, and I was already feeling way more confident. We were able to articulate what we wanted and verbalize our intentions, and we were productive and constructive, and we had 8 people show up, which for a 3-person cast was a great start and a lot of people to choose from.
Day 1 finished, and we had 3 people who we thought best exemplified the characters. And then next thing we knew, it was day 2. Audition day 2.
We still have no idea what's going on. Update, nothing's changed.
And we did the same process over again, having people come in groups of 3, figuring out which character they suit best, giving them notes, seeing if they took the notes, and then just sort of deciding.
One thing we tried to do as directors in the audition room was give people our vision of the character, just to see if they could take what we saw and apply it to their own characters right there on the spot. Kind of to see if they could understand our image.
And when I got in there, I saw the 2 directors, Hailey and Kayla. So I got up there with like trembling hands and like before I even entered, like I meditated a bit and I'm like, okay, you can do this. And I tried my best and I was excited and it really felt like a flash.
So by the end of day 2, we already made a clear decision and we knew right away. So end of day 1, we decided on Keely. Are you sitting down, Keely? Yeah. Are you sitting down? Do you want to play Penelope in Lunch Bag 3, A Worthy Opponent?
Oh my god, I would love to.
Oh my god, awesome.
Yes. Okay, great.
Okay, bye.
Thanks.
We just called Keely McPeak. She will be playing the role of Penelope. Keely was going to play Penelope. She's a very strong comedy actress. We knew this going in that Keely was going to be a really strong contender, and she just came in and she absolutely nailed it. Andre came in and immediately we fell in love with this kid.
Andre was one that really responded well to our notes. And that aside, his personality just sealed the deal.
He was the cutest kid ever. He was so sweet, so nice. You could tell that he was a really hard worker and he just suited the character so much. It was great.
As soon as I left, I felt so relieved that I was done. And as soon as I got on the bus to go home, I was like, oh my gosh, I messed up here and here. So I got a notebook and I wrote down like all the things that I did wrong. I'm like, okay, next time, next audition, you're gonna do this and this because I know for sure you're never gonna get the part. I got off my bus stop, my first bus. And my phone starts ringing. I'm like, and then I picked up the call with like shaking hands, and I said, "Hello, who's this?" And I couldn't hear.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah. Would you like to play the role of Eric in A Worthy Opponent?
I'm so sorry.
Hello, who is this? Like, what's up?
Eric!
You got the part.
Would you like to play Eric?
Yes, please. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
They asked me, yeah, Andre, like, do you want to play? I'm like, of course. I'm like, of course.
So you'd like to play Eric in A Worthy Opponent?
Yes, I would love to play
Well,
her.
we've got that on record.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And I cried like a little tear, but I was so happy because I didn't know what to expect. It was like a new chapter in my life.
We really enjoyed your audition. Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
What? What did you say? Did you say chocolate? And then we also had Simran that day. Simran was great. We saw Simran's resume and it said that she had played Sharpay Evans in a production of High School Musical, and we knew, we were like, that's our girl.
I remember what sealed the deal for Simran was we had her read 3 times actually, and it was the 3rd time. We kind of switched it up on her and we gave her the big emotional monologue, which contrasted everything she had done in the audition so far.
And she did it well, but then we gave her some notes and she took the notes and she absolutely blew us away, and we knew right then and there that she had the part. She killed the monologue, and that's when we knew it was her.
I remember Hailey and Kayla coming out of the audition room, and I was still standing there, and they were like, "Oh, you're still here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I can leave." But then they were like, "Simran, we'd like to ask you something." It was them literally going, "Would you like to play the part of Ivy?" And I was like, "Yes!"
So just like that, we had our cast, and we were pretty much 1 month away from performance at that point. So I think it was 2 days later, we had our read-through.
My feelings at the first read-through were, oh no, that's a lot of lines to memorize.
Everyone was seeming to understand the characters. We knew where the work needed to be done.
I felt really nervous at the end because I was thinking, like, this is kind of a comedy. I don't have anything to do in this kind of world. I'm not funny. How the heck am I supposed to play Eric? I haven't even like served a table before. So I didn't know where to start with. Basically, in this play, there are 3 characters. There is Eric, the waiter, there's Penelope and Ivy. Ivy dates Penelope's son. Through a series of events, they find out that Ivy's actually gotten engaged with Penelope's son. And that kind of creates a bit of tension and conflict.
Ivy was a super young, hip, sassy character, and it wasn't difficult. I feel like that resonates with what I'm like in person. I'm not saying that I'm cool, young, and hip, but the sassy part, I think I can be extremely sassy.
My character name was Penelope, I think. Penelope was an entomologist. and I'm pretty sure it's entomologist. And I just really like bugs, I think, because I talked about bugs a lot. And I think I was like 55 or something. I like to think that I don't look 55, but that's how I was casted. Now, I don't feel like I'm 55, and I'm really, like, I don't have a son. That was a big part of the play, me having a son, and I don't have a son or a child, so I can't relate to that at all. And she really likes bugs, and I don't like bugs, so I can't relate to that either. I'm like an academic, and I'm like not into looks. Oh, I guess I relate to my character in that, you know.
One is a little older and one is a little younger, so that creates a bunch of contention because the older person obviously has some more experience and is a little jaded because of the things she's been through. My character was Eric, kind of a comedic relief waiter. He kind of looks like a drug dealer and kind of acts like it. Like, he was kind of lackadaisical. His head was like in the clouds and he would interrupt maybe at the worst moments. I had so much fun playing Eric because it is a little different from who I am in like real life.
And we chose everyone for a reason, so it was really nice that through the process we were able to see everyone kind of reach the potential that we saw in them from the beginning.
So a few days later, it was our first rehearsal, which started off as a disaster. We had moved the time of the rehearsal, but it was very confusing and no one really knew what time it was supposed to start at or anything like that. So people were late, people were early, but then I think we just got right into doing a read-through.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Hey lady, I'm just trying to...
No, relax. He's just in character.
What do you mean he's just
It's not real. He's an actor.
First rehearsal, check.
Done. Read-through.
Done.
Complete.
Signing off, I guess.
Signing off. Bye, vlog. So the script was essentially just one long scene. We started off by separating that into sections, and so that way we could tell the actors, okay, working on sections 1 through 3 today, and we just work with the text to start off with.
By doing constant read-throughs, we were able to understand the text and understand everyone's characters better, doing table work, understanding intentions. And I know that can be boring, just sitting there.
I learn from moving, so I need to be able to move around and just go haywire. And I can't sit still, so going over lines, it didn't feel great, you know. It was a challenge because I'm always moving, so it definitely frustrated me a little bit.
And by a certain point, we were getting really comfortable with each other, which was really nice, but we were kind of losing a sense of energy. So we needed a way to pump up the energy, but not move on to blocking just yet.
Once we felt like they had a good understanding of the text, we did an exercise where we had them run around while doing an Italian run.
Hi, so today is November 12th, and we just had our 4th rehearsal. So Simran said the other week that we really need to pump up the energy.
What are we doing right now?
We're taking a break.
Today we did an Italian run, which, if you don't know, is when you just read all of the lines super duper fast.
Once you're a mother till the end. You'll stop nothing. You did what's best for your child.
What a weird day.
I remember Kayla chasing us around.
One of our directors, Kayla, decided that when we were reading scripts that she would just run and chase us to like kind of like stunt us a bit or like scare us and shock us.
Andre!
How do I think it went? Really well.
So basically I made them run around the room and then say the lines as fast as they could and keep the energy up.
I was thinking like, what the hell are we doing?
Being chased around by Kayla, that was my workout for the day. I don't think it really did anything for my acting. Maybe it did. I know I brought energy up, I guess. I just started spinning around in a circle after.
Because we only had 1 month of rehearsals, we had to make sure we stayed on track. So keeping to those sections really worked for us. And then once we had finished with the text, we got right into blocking, which didn't take us that long. It only took us like 3 days probably.
The blocking wasn't too complicated. so I didn't have to remember much, and my body remembered most of it.
Rehearsals were really just going through lines a lot, because there's really no blocking in the show, like, except for Andre. For me and Simran,
I'll be real, I was frustrated.
like, we're just sitting at the table for 98% of the show.
But no, blocking was fun. That is part of the process.
Yeah, I did have, I think props were like a big issue, because like they're full of water, liquid, and I had to like run back and forth because of my cues and lines to get like in and out of.
He had an entrance or an exit like every 3 to 5 minutes, so we were really working hard with him.
And then go back on stage and I would spill everything and it would make a big mess. Or I would forget to pour them, or something like that.
So all we did in rehearsals was sit there and go over lines, pretty much, and go over like actor's intention. Oh, except for some props. Once we got those going, I really had to work on. We had to do a shot at the end, like a whipped cream shot. So it was like full of whipped cream and chocolate milk, and you have to do like put it like the whole thing in your mouth, and then go like. And I guess I'm not very good at that. I learned I'm not good at doing those types of shots. Cause you know there's gonna be a whole audience watching you, like.
So as the rehearsals went on, it was really nice to get to know our actors as well and our crew. And despite being in kind of work mode, we were able to just slow it down and really keep it real most days.
When we were in rehearsals, like Kayla and Hailey and Andre and Simran, like if we all had rehearsals, there was at least once, probably more than once, where they all had little therapy sessions and Andre was like the therapist. So yeah, they all like talked about their feelings a lot. And I was just chilling because I don't know them that well. I didn't really have any personal problems at the time. Other than my schedule, my personal struggle of the time was being busy as f***.
So when it came to props and sets, we just took one morning and we just took a look around at the black hole storage rooms to see what we could find.
Saturday, November 18th? 17th. We're getting props. Just wait. We've got lots of props today.
Oh my god! So one of the things that we found was we found this globe and it lit up and it kind of had a stand. But we thought it was the coolest thing ever, so we decided to hang it from the ceiling, and that would be sort of like our lighting chandelier. We also went looking for a table and chairs. We found these 2 chairs and we loved them so much and they were so perfect, but turns out we weren't allowed to use them because they were only designated for the main stages, which was fine. So then we found these other 2 yellow chairs that we found actually worked really well too, and they added a lot more color to the set, which we actually really liked.
I had taken on the role of set designer, so what I did is I actually stole posters and like newspaper clippings from all over the university and what I could find from home, and I took some old records from the thrift store, just ones I had that I had no intention of listening to ever, and we just stuck those on the wall. And then I found this window grate, wooden grate, I don't even know what it was.
And earlier in the script, there's a line that said,
so those are repurposed garbage bags on the windows?
And so that's what we actually did. We actually got garbage bags and made them look like curtains on this window, which is really cool.
So rehearsals went on and we were still growing and growing. And despite being students, like I could still feel that everybody was giving whatever they had left of themselves. They were putting it all into the show. But as the deadline got closer, right before tech, like it still didn't feel good.
Hello vlog. So we open in less than a week now, because it's Wednesday. We had a rehearsal on Monday that didn't go well. It was like literally one of the worst runs that we've had of it. And it's making some of the cast members like lose spirit, you know? I mean, they have their lines down pretty good. We did our first like no line call, and there's really like one issue and we fixed it right away. I feel like with the process for any show is you get to a point where everything just kind of clicks together and you're like, okay, but that hasn't happened yet.
And at that point, as a director, you start to wonder, like, did you do enough? Like, what could you have done better? What can you still do? And it was really scary ultimately because, like, if the show fails, that is on the directors. That is our fault. And we were just hoping that it was all going to come together at some point and just had to put trust in the process.
So going into our first tech rehearsal, the show hadn't quite clicked together yet.
Now for tech rehearsals, I was kind of worried initially.
Before and after, I was quite concerned about the state of the show.
It was hard to imagine what it would look like or what it should look like.
It was lots my fault because I had a lot of lines.
I have now memorized the first 3 pages.
I didn't really know my lines that well, but neither did Simran or Andre, so it's not all my fault.
It was a constant reminder during that day that, hey, a couple of days from now, your show's gonna be on.
And I'm pretty sure everyone was concerned. You could feel everybody being concerned.
You know, the cast and crew were super focused. That made me focus as well, and it went well.
Tech day.
Yeah, the thing.
We're hungry. It's like 10 a.m. We're well into our tech rehearsals. I'm gonna flip the camera around now and take a look at our set.
There's a lot of light coming from that side, I guess. And there's not a lot of light coming from that side.
So tech is a really good day. It's a lot of stop and start. It's for the crew so they can understand all the cues that they need to make, all the lighting cues, all the sound cues. So it is more for the crew than it is for the actors. However, it was very beneficial for us because we were able to go over scenes like over and over and over with the lights, get more comfortable with the lights, get more comfortable with our lines, because at that point, lines were still an issue.
Andre, are you good back there?
Yeah.
You can see everything okay?
The daylight would be better, but...
He's fine. Okay, I want to do the choking scene. Andre?
Yes?
Come back on. Andre, what is that? Is that an engagement ring?
Okay. What is that? Is that an engagement ring?
Yes. Are you okay? Eric, did you get something to drink? Some water? It doesn't matter. Some water. Quickly, please. Are you okay? I'm going to do the Heimlich maneuver on you. Do I have your permission to do the Heimlich maneuver on you? You can't do it unless you give me permission.
Okay, stop. How was that?
So the whole day basically was Jen, our stage manager, and Mikayla, our lighting designer, along with Karen, who was overseeing the project. It was all of them getting the technical aspects of the show to run smoothly.
Something a little stronger for my throat. What were those martinis you were describing earlier?
Oh, it's yummy. It has this sort of bitter...
That sounds perfect.
Okay, one right, one champagne, and one Manslaughter martini coming right up. Yay!
Don't tell me he was accepted.
Okay, we'll stop there. Andre,
Yeah.
how was that for you?
Yeah, I think it was okay.
I think Karen and honestly Mikayla is wonderful at lighting. Her suggestions and everything she has planned worked so well, and not just in helping the show, but making sure the actors looked and felt great, which really helped, because like confidence was low, but then you see like even pictures of tech rehearsal and it was like, oh, we actually look great, the set looks great, this is working.
So after tech, Kayla and I just had to do one more thing before our day was over. We had to go pick up this fridge. We needed a fridge to keep all of our liquids good to last the span of the show.
Okay, hi vlog. So tech was from like 8 a.m. to like 1:30 p.m.
And we're still going. Actors have gone home.
We're gonna go get a fridge from the
For our whipped cream, chocolate milk, fruit punch, ginger ale.
Liquid extravaganza.
How do you think today went?
It was the best run that they've done so far when we did the actual run.
Yeah.
So it wasn't perfect, but we're getting there. I feel like this was our clicky moment.
I had a clicky moment.
I think this was the click.
Yeah.
So that's
It's
good.
the lights.
Cause that's what we were waiting
Mikayla.
for. Damn you,
We
Mikayla,
love you.
and your genius.
Jen's doing amazing.
Yeah.
Like, way to rein it in.
Yeah, Jen's great.
I personally felt a lot better about the show.
And so it was such a relief that the clicky moment finally happened.
I could finally see it, and that helped me as an actor make the right choices to add to that image that we wanted to portray.
We'll come back when we get the fridge.
Yeah, okay, so these are the things that people don't think about. So we use lots of liquids in this show. Because these liquids, we need like a fridge or some sort.
Where are you guys headed?
Conklin.
Oh, me too.
We're getting a fridge.
We are.
This is the life. Hold on tight. Don't let me go.
Oh, maybe that was
Overtired.
I don't know if this is okay.
Wait, we might have to go outside. Where is she? Where's her?
Kaylee!
Why would you send them away? Oh my god!
Did you call it?
Those people would have drove us there.
For dress rehearsal, we finally brought costumes into play.
Now, my costume at the dress rehearsal was just like I think a leather. No, it was a trench. Yeah, I think it was like a leather trench coat or something. I wore a backwards leather cap as well. It was an interesting combination because again, I had to look like a drug dealer, while also being weird at the same time. Like it kind of clashed.
I actually really liked dress rehearsal. That's when I got to wear my costume. So I brought my own dress, but brought a jacket from the costume department.
And I felt my costume was very fitting. I took my ugly dress pants from like 6 years ago with Birkenstocks and no socks, and my grandma's old blazer with like some bling on it. It was really ugly.
Overall, it was nice, like seeing everyone in their costumes, like then you got to see them as the character that they were.
So that like once you're in a costume, it really helps you get into character.
You saw them as, like, I wasn't Simran anymore, I was Ivy. Keely was not Keely anymore. Keely was my mother-in-law. Now you're fully involved. Now you're fully divulged into this universe of the show.
And dress rehearsal just like solidified the confidence that we all built up during tech rehearsal. And it was a good thing too, because we only had one more day until performance. I think it was December 2nd.
Hello, vlog. It is December 2nd. We just had our dress rehearsal, and I figured now would be a good time to give an update about everything. So it went very, very well. It was their best run, their shortest run, so that's good. Just a couple of little notes, but yeah, it's all clicked together okay at this point. I gotta let go of it, you know? There's not much I can do at this point. Yeah, so that's the update. Everything's good. I mean, it's the show. I can't like keep nitpicking it. I do think it would have been nice to have the extra 2 weeks that we didn't get, but alas, what can you do? We did our best with what we could do. Thanks, vlog. Please come see the show. Bye.
And so now it was December 3rd, and so how shows work at the Black Hole Theatre is once it's showtime, and if you're a director, technically your job is over. But of course we were going to every show.
Before every performance, I went and I did Keely's hair in the dressing room.
So we did something about, we folded my hair, something like this. Like an old lady bob.
Keely has this really long brown hair, and we wanted her to have a really short kind of Karen look. In the show, it's called a pyramid haircut. Basically got a string, tied it to her hair, and flipped it.
So I had to make sure I could go through the entire show with my hair like this. Because there's a part in the show where I choke, and Simran is giving me the Heimlich, and I'm moving around very violently for that 2 minutes. So you don't want my hair to fall out at that point.
And another fun thing we did is we had Andre, and we had him giving out cups of ginger ale. We chose ginger ale because it kind of looked like champagne. Andre kind of set the tone for our audience as they came in, kind of make them feel like they were in a restaurant, give them a little fun thing for coming out, because the shows are free, so I don't know, we wanted to do the most that we could, make it enjoyable.
Hailey and I also coordinated our outfits for the shows. So each show we had a color scheme, so it was either red and black or gray and jean, and we sat together for every show too and just sat and watched and enjoyed.
With that, we had full trust in them, and we were just ready to sit back and relax and watch everything unfold that we'd been working this past month on.
The first performance was very, very nerve-wracking.
We did the first show, nobody forgot their lines. Nobody forgot their lines. And guess what? All the shows, nobody forgot their lines, ever.
Absolutely nerve-wracking. Oh my god. It was my first performance in Canada, my first performance in 2 years. I'm like, not even kidding. I was like, I'm shaking right now. I wonder if people could see that I'm shaking.
And the worst thing was that it was a comedy. And I thought it was funny, but what if other people didn't think it was funny?
Oh, I was also nervous to see what laughs we would get, because you don't really know what jokes are gonna work until you get an audience.
And I'm pretty sure our opening day, we had so many people there. All our lovely people from the Black Hole Theatre Company came to support us on the first day. It was so overwhelming, but the more the show went on, the easier it got, because the more comfortable I got.
And the first show went great. People thought it was so funny, there was so much laughing.
They did so well. I remember the great response we had. It wasn't just Kayla and I laughing anymore, and that was a good thing, that Kayla and I were still laughing, and it was so nice to see other people come into our world that we had been creating this past month.
Everything for the actors went well. It was just such like a weight lifted off my shoulders.
But I don't think there was any big disasters. I don't remember any big disasters. I think Andre spilled some drinks on me or something, but that's fine. So I was the first one on stage. I came in from like the door that all the audience was coming in. So I was just scared to go in at the wrong time. I don't know.
What I would always mess up is like the first line, because I had the first line of the whole show. It'd be too weak or not loud enough. Felt like that set the tone.
You must have me confused with someone else. I'm waiting for my son.
So I was, of course, nervous, but also because we had rehearsed it so many times. I felt confident.
No! Stand back, Abby. You don't want this in your eyes.
And I was really curious if people would think that my hair was realistic, because the audience is not that far away. Probably after the first 2 shows, then I started being more confident about nobody was gonna mess up.
And hearing the applause at the end makes it worth it, you know, because it was like, they liked it. They didn't hate us. there's no tomatoes coming at us or eggs, you know?
And I was so proud. I remember thinking like the hardest part's over. Like we kind of just got over the speed bump there. And like knowing everyone was doing their best and pushing through this, like despite what they were doing or despite school, I really respected them and I appreciated that, like as a director and as a student.
There were struggles where, personally, when I was kind of doing the show.
I think the biggest thing I was probably going through was financial hardship. That's to say for every international student. But, you know, you just get through it and you find ways, because if you don't, then what are you going to do? You're stuck at a point. You've got to get from A to B, or you'll always be at A.
Like I said before, I was at the point in my life where, like, I convinced myself I really haven't done anything. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know who was I going to be. I was really doubting myself and my abilities. And it was really hard. Beforehand, like, I thought I used to be this big person and have like a chip on my shoulder. And when I went into university, like, all that went down. Like, kind of my confidence in myself just plummeted because I based all of my personality on school and how I did well in school, and I was not doing well in school, so I had that identity was just gone, and finding out who I want to be, what I'm going to do in the future, I was really worried. But through acting and through this play, I made consecutive choices for characters and for the production, and I was going to see through how those choices were going to be. There's actually one line in the play where Penelope says you make a choice and you stick with it and you hope that it was the right choice, and I kind of took that to heart. So I learned, like, through this play, through theater, and through being with these people, like, it expanded kind of the way I saw the world. I was also able to connect with people better, slowly build my identity, being okay with making choices.
Find strength in the act of surrendering.
So the climax of the story, and it was really beautiful, where they let down their guards and they're very raw and real with each other. It was a good message to kind of let down your guard, be genuine, be real, be raw, kind of show yourself in your vulnerable moments. I think there needs to be more genuine moments with one another, especially in times like this. It's really important to have friends and family. Going through that, it did teach me that despite how different of a person you are, you can always share the genuality of a human connection. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter the way you live your life, because you could always connect with a person despite how different they are.
Theater can bring people together, people from different parts of the world. Like, I'm from Hong Kong, all the way on the other side. And I met these wonderful people, all from different towns and places, with different backgrounds.
When we started this whole experience of trying to direct for the first time, I thought it was crazy. But the fact that we did it, and we did it well, is so reassuring to me that we can do the things that we don't think we can do.
I'm pretty proud though. That was my first Lunch BHAGG and show that I think I've ever done. I felt incredibly pleased, proud, and content. I even got my best friend to see it. They said they loved it. They loved seeing me in a different light and acting like ditzy and good times.
It was a wonderful experience. It was heartwarming. I think it was maybe because of how small our team was, but it felt like a family, you know. Now I know these people for, let's say, even my whole life, you know, these are people that have helped me grow in different ways, and hopefully in whose lives I have also left an imprint. I think that's beautiful, that theater can bring people together.
I know Jen was doing music at the time, which I understand is so busy, so I appreciated everything that she did for us because she really kept us on track. And Mikayla, she was also someone who kept us in line. Yeah. And her lighting, I remember tech went so smooth because she knew exactly what she wanted. I think the show really uncovered strengths that each of us had inside ourselves, and and allowed us to play to those strengths.
Not only that, but this experience really bonded Hailey and I for life. Just because we've had this experience that really just bonded us together.
It was funny because seeing Kayla every single day, we never got sick of each other. She is now and forever one of my best friends. I trusted her process and she put trust in mine.
Trust the process.
And she helped me grow. And it's been a year now, but it's just one of those things that I'll never forget.
Like there's like one part where they're like,
Stop, you're going to hurt him. Just want him for a few days. Unless you have an allergy. I hope you don't have an allergy.
Hey, lady, I was just trying to tell you.
No, relax. He's just a character. What do you mean? It's not real. He's not an actor.
I'm here to take your
Here,
order.
watch. Yes, you've got the money. How?
but no, my hair's
Was there anything you were struggling with personally during the process of the show? How did you learn to overcome your struggles and power through? Anything sappy, anything inspiring, anything... Bare your soul.